I am getting my energy. I'm getting my strength back. The kid is coming back. And here's my little baby. Hi. Is somebody dying?
No.
Okay, so come back. Daddy's down there. Go. Talk to Daddy. Okay. So, apologies. My husband just got home. First of all, thanks so much, Lindsay, for having me. You know, I have a really special place in my heart for Smash Nation, and I love every opportunity that I get to spend some time with you all. And so it's nice to be in my jammies and cozy down talking about some of my favorite topics, which is, you know, visioneering, vision boards, mindset, and how all that plays into your ability to bring your dreams to life. Now, it's interesting because I don't really like to consider myself a woo-woo person, or, you know, I don't, no diss, no shade, but I'm not big into like oracle card readings and like, you know, lighting of the incense and all that stuff, right? I've never really thought that I would be that person until I started to try a couple of these things, because what I was noticing was a lot of my woo-woo friends, there was something to it. Like they really, everything that they were thinking was coming to fruition. They always seemed to just be in this perpetual state of abundance. And I wanted in on that. I wanted whatever they were drinking, sell me the Kool-Aid. So I started doing my own research on vision boards and what was the connection behind it. And there's a bunch of science out there, tons of schools of thought of why psychologically vision boards work. But my personal thought is that what you focus on grows, right? Wherever your eyes wander, that's where your attention is. And I think that's why that cliche, out of sight, out of mind, exists. Because typically when it's not right in our forefront, it's not getting our full attention. What usually happens when, I'm going to mute you guys. I don't know how to do that. Can I mute like everybody? I can't, because I'm hearing some background noise. That, hold on one second. I'm going to yell at these kids real fast. All right. It's like these kids be getting crazy up in here. So what I have found is that when you have things front of mind, that's where your attention goes. So let me ask you guys, are you ever working on something in your business and all of a sudden it's like fire alarm, somebody needs your attention, and what happens? You get distracted, you leave whatever you're working on, you go away, and when you come back, you've forgotten, you've lost your place, you've lost your train of thought. It's because you lost your focus. So what I have found is that, number one, keeping the things that you're trying to achieve, really creating a visual representation, number one, is really powerful. And then keeping it front and center is also a key. The second thing is that your thoughts really bring about your energy, and it brings about the energy that you're going to put into a project or a goal, for lack of a better term. Hold on. I'm about to give that second warning. And if I get to 3, y'all are going to see some kids get embarrassed. Give me 1 second. I am so sorry. You know, kids are having such a good time when you're yelling at them and they don't even hear that you're yelling at them. It's about to be ass whipping time, folks. Step right up for the show. Now, distractions, right? They are all around, which is why, especially if you're a parent or if you're working another job and you have responsibilities that are constantly pulling for your attention, that's why, number one, you have to have your visual representation. And number two, you have to have that mindset in check. And I know Melissa, Natanya, you girls have worked with me. You know what I'm always harping about mindset. And I think, I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I think that you can back me up when I say that, the things that we've discussed about mindset have made a shift in your business. Is that a yes or a no? Right? So there's thumbs up there, they're agreeing, they're saying yes. So let's first talk about how do you set a vision? Because I can tell you that for me personally, I struggled to find a vision for a really long time. So if that's you, if you've struggled to sort of really come up with a vision for yourself, just raise your hand so I can see if we need to spend some time. Okay, yeah, we've got a couple people. Nothing is more frustrating than wanting to have this big, powerful vision. And then you see other people out there with these grandiose, amazing visions. Like, I want to be 15 star, and I want to be a top 10, and I want to be elite, or whatever. Or in my case, in my industry, it was, I want to build a school for Pencils of Promise, and I want to donate $25,000. And at the time, like, I was lucky if I was making $25,000 a year. But all these people had these visions and these wonderful whys, right? Anybody struggle to find their why? Raise your hand if you have struggled to identify your why. And here's what I discovered. 2 things. Number 1, you don't have to have a grand vision to take steps in the direction of a smaller goal. And I think that once you accept that and you take the pressure off of yourself, you find that you can take more consistent and more efficient action. The second thing that I'm a huge proponent of, and Lindsay, you know, because you are going through Todd Herman's 90-day year, is that you don't have to have this incredibly meaningful why attached to everything you do. Sometimes you just want to be successful because you want to make money. That's okay. Sometimes you just want to sell a challenge pack because you want to hit Success Club. And it doesn't have to be because you want to change somebody's life and, you know, you just want them to feel their best. No, sometimes it's just about business, and that's okay. So if you're in that space of, I don't have a vision, let me tell you that the quickest pathway to having a clear vision is through taking action. Any kind of action, because the more action you take, the more you'll start to identify what you do like and what you don't like. And that's going to start creating a path for you of, okay, this is where I'm not so much. So in my own, I like to give examples of either myself or clients that I've worked with so that you know how to apply it real world. But for me, I was certified as a life coach at first, and I started working with everybody and their mother. I had no idea who I wanted to help. I had no idea what my niche was. I wanted to help everybody, the whole world. I wanted to fix their lives. And then I started coaching everybody, men, women, crazy people. I had this one client, this chick was like certified extra. And I mean, she used to do this like fire stuff and build these pentagrams in her house. And I'm a Christian, right? So if you are a Christian and you're coaching someone who's like setting up pentagrams and dark side type stuff, I guess it gets a little scary. So very quickly I realized, like, wait a second, I definitely don't want to go down this path. And so now my vision started to take shape. Okay, so I know I want to work with entrepreneurs. I know they don't necessarily have to be Christians, but they can't be on the dark side because I need light. And as you start taking action, your path will start to sort of pave itself. And the closer you get and the more interactions that you have and the more success you have in your particular little field, that's when you're going to start to see like, oh, okay, I really enjoy, now I'm going to put it to the Beachbody side because I just had this exact conversation with a client of mine. She said, listen, I don't have a grand vision of being 15 star or top 10. I'm not interested in that. She said, what I want is to make money, and I want to open up as many business centers as I can. Great. Pressure's off. She even said, I don't even need a big team. I don't even need a huge team. I just want a few consistent builders in like 4 business centers so that, you know, every business center is at least an emerald. And she had the whole map. Great. Pressure is off. She's not worried about like heavy recruiting. She like her, and that works for her. So right now, what I'd like you to do is grab your pen and paper and just write down your immediate vision. Now, if you're already set, like you've got the grand vision, awesome, great, write that down too. But for those of you that are like, I'm not really sure where I want to go, let's just put the starter vision, right? This is your starting lineup of visions. Give you 2 minutes to jot that down. Okay, I see people are starting to look up. So now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to write down your why. Just kidding. No, it doesn't matter. You know your why. If you want to write it down, awesome. If you got a strong, powerful conviction why, great. Jot that baby down. If you don't, the pressure's off. You don't need to have that all figured out. What you need to have figured out is what path you want to take this year, this 12 months. And if that's even too big, break it down into 90 days, which is my favorite way to think. I have commitment issues. It's a miracle I'm still married. But just kidding. Husband's downstairs. He likes when I tell that joke. Okay, so now up until to this point, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone feel like this is great, but I'm still stuck? So I want to do a little coaching and pull y'all's out of it. Okay. Second question. Does anybody already have their vision board up and done, ready? They're just here to see if there was going to be something extra.
Like kind of.
Oh.
It was supposed to be, but it didn't all save. But the majority of it is, I was working on it earlier.
Okay. So 2 things about the vision boards. Number 1 is it does not have to be completely finished. So I'm going to show you my vision board in a second, because what I like to encourage people to do is I like to encourage you to leave some space. How many of you have seen those vision boards where like every single corner of the paper is covered in a picture? Anybody see those vision boards? I can't with those vision boards. I think that those this is my personal opinion on vision boards. I think that those, collage vision boards, they're great. They're beautiful to look at, but they're not action centered. They're not goal focused vision boards. And so that's why those people that have those pretty pictures, it takes them a lot longer to achieve their goals, because it's just a bunch of pretty pictures. And I personally think that your vision board should be specific. There should be like sections for it. So, and you should have space. If you don't have blank space in your life, if you don't have pockets of openness, then you can't invite new opportunities. You can't invite new people into your life, right? And aren't you all trying to build teams? Don't you need people? So there has to be some sort of a space that you have to hold for them. So I will show you mine. Can y'all see that? It is a cork board. And as you can see, there's a ton of space on that board, right? This is my preference. You don't have to do it. If you're a collage girl or guy and you like all that fancy schmancy flower stuff, good on you. God bless. But I'm going to show you what I do with my board. And let me tell you why this works. This is also a strategy that I know a lot of people in your industry are doing, and it works. So the first thing that I do is I have no resolutions whatsoever. And I also don't have goals. I have declarations, because I'm already declaring that these are things that are going to happen. So actually, you know what I'll do? I'll pull the elements off. Here's another thing. My board is adjustable, right? Because I want to remain flexible. What I see happen to a lot of people is they are so cemented and rooted in the initial goals that they don't allow for space and adjustment and modification when life happens. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, forget it. I can't, I got derailed. You have to be able to have that flexibility in your mindset, in your space, so that when life happens, you can just shift things around, which is one of the reasons why I choose a cork board, because if I decide in 3 months, like, you know what, like for example, I'll give you a really good one that I know already I need to change. But one of my declarations, because these are things that are absolutely going to happen in 2015, is I'm going to choose a marijuana stock to invest in. Don't laugh, y'all, because that's where the money's at. I'm going to choose a marijuana stock to invest in, and I'm going to start making contributions no later than March 1st. I already know we need to adjust that because there's a lot of red tape to be able to invest in that industry. But that's a little tip right here. So that's going to get legalized medically. I'm going to invest on the medical side. Anyway, so I have my declarations. This year we're going to do $500,000. We're going to have 40% of revenue as personal income because I want a profitable business. I don't just want to have a business. But anyway, I start listing out the things that will absolutely happen this year. No flowery pictures representing $500,000 in revenue. I do have a picture of some money up there somewhere, but this is like legit, concrete. It's written. And they say that what's written happens more often than not, right? Statistically proven. So it's all written down. Then I've got my little fancy schmancy. And then I have the ubiquitous, the Entrepreneur magazine, Forbes magazine. I'm waiting for them to call me this year, by the way. This is going to be the year that I get featured in Forbes. And some of the other pictures. But then here's the difference in my goal. I have a section up top called First Quarter Crush Goals. And what I do is I put the crush goals that I'm trying to achieve, and I'll pull one down. And actually, I'll show you what I do. So I have them up on the top because that's the forefront. That's where my eye automatically falls when I look to the board. It's closest to my left side. So whenever I turn this way, I'm looking, okay, that's the first thing I see. It's these goals. Okay, crap, this is right in my forefront. Every single day that I come to sit down, I got to look at this. So I write down my goals. This one says relaunch podcast with 12 episodes, 1,000 downloads per episode. This is in the first quarter. I know that these things have to happen by March 1st. We have to have these 12 episodes done. Once a crush goal is done, I take it from the top and I move it, down to the bottom. I don't know if you could see that. I already got a crush goal. Be a guest on Amy Porterfield's podcast. Bam, that happened today. So then I move it down. Here's why I do this. Because then at the end of the quarter, I have a stack right at the bottom of success. And what you need to have, right, this is really key. You need to have incremental success. I'll tell you guys in just a second. So thank you for asking. You need to have incremental success. The more small wins you have, the more confident you're going to feel going into the rest of the year. Excuse me. And this sets you up on a pattern for success. Natanya and Melissa know that I talk about the neural pathways all the time. Every time that you do something habitually, you create a new neural pathway. So when you are setting yourself up for these small wins and you have a little reminder here, that creates a powerful connection in your brain. And it sort of reprograms you to say, I am trained for success. Is this too much for you guys? Is this good? Is this helpful? Okay. Y'all can start. This is your show. Excuse me. So that is, and then of course, I put the pictures. I got the hammer and chisel. I'm going to finish that. I'm going to finish a round of hammer and chisel at some point this year. So I want to show you that. If you're not sure at what point in the year you want to achieve something, I like to have that first quarter. I like to have the second quarter. But then for those extraneous things where I just haven't figured out where I'm going to put that, I put them on the outer edges of my board. So at some point, that hammer and chisel finisher thing will move up to the top and it'll be part of a particular quarter. Not this quarter though. no, sir. No, ma'am. Not this quarter. I started it. I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. And that brings me to my third point. Don't be afraid to not be ready. Sometimes you're not ready. When you try to force a goal, a declaration, a challenge, or something that you are not ready for, the only thing that happens is that you meet it with resistance. You don't achieve it, and then you just created a new failure in that narrow pathway. So now your brain, again, is saying, oh, we suck, we fail. You don't suck. You weren't ready, and you knew good and damn well going into it, you were not ready to take on that challenge. Has anyone ever been in that situation? You knew you weren't ready. You could feel it, but you were like, no, I have to do this now. And then you just fell flat on your face. Just raise your hand. That's me. Okay, everybody. So listen to yourself, okay? You have a very, very powerful intuition. It's your little meter that's going to go off and will tell you like, yo, this isn't right. And the way that you know if it's your intuition or fear, right? Does anyone know how to differentiate between intuition and fear? Anybody? Raise your hand. No? Nobody? Oh, Katie, yay. Oh, I can't unmute you. Unmute her, Lindsay. Go, Katie, go. Oh.
Okay, I unmuted myself, but wait, I have a confession. I was just talking to my daughter and I don't know what to ask.
Oh, I thought oh, you were just raising. Oh.
What did you ask?
Okay. The question was, I think Nicole has Nicole, do you have the answer, or are you just raising your hand because you're testifying too? All right. So the question was, what does anyone know the difference to how you can differentiate between your intuition and your fear? Nicole says she knows. Go.
I'll say intuition leads you and your fear holds you back.
You would think, and that's a really good initial gauge, but sometimes intuition will also hold you back, right? Because your intuition, I'm very fascinated with the brain. So forgive the geek in me. But there's a little section in your brain called the hippocampus. And what happens is that is the part of the brain that holds on to the fear-based memories. That's the part that, like, if you get burned, that's where that memory gets stored. Don't touch that because we're going to get burned. It's your defense mechanism. It's your survival. So sometimes what can happen is we've experienced some sort of a setback, a failure, a letdown. We've gotten proverbially burned before. And so your brain is storing that, but it doesn't store the entire process, right? When you sleep, your brain resets and all the memories, everything that happened through the day sort of shuffles and gets put into a folder. Sometimes we don't have great sleep. Sometimes we have bad sleep. Sometimes we don't sleep at all. All those things affect your brain's ability to process rational versus irrational. So sometimes your brain is really like, yeah, no, we can't do that. Don't do that because this is dangerous. And so your intuition is protecting you. But then other times it's just fear. So the way that you can, I thought I saw somebody put the answer. Jenna says, intuition versus fear is really interesting. I often find myself doubting myself and worried I'm not going to be successful. Natalia says, you're tricked by your past. Yes, exactly. So you can be tricked by your past into thinking like, this isn't right. And so then your fear will come up. Your intuition will okay, Nicole says, okay, I'm getting distracted. You remember all the bad experiences over the good one. Yes, exactly. So the way that you can tell when to trust your intuition and when you're being led by fear is by first assessing all the failures in, last 3 or 4 years. So go back to that moment in time and think about what happened right before you made the mistake or right before you fell flat on your face. Did you hear an alarm go off and say, hey, let's not do this, and you did it anyway? Or did you hear the alarm say, did you hear your voice say, yes, go, 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 and you still fell flat? 9 times out of 10, you heard the voice like, no, this is not a good idea, but you did it anyway. So you didn't listen to intuition. You actually were being led by want, vanity, ego, which, by the way, ego is so much louder than fear and intuition. Ego will just shut it all down. So that is the way that you start to learn how to trust your intuition again. Go back through those failures, go back through those blunders, and really listen to what was happening right before you made the mistake. Was that clear? Thumbs up if it was clear. Lindsay, did you just text me?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Was there a question there? Okay. Did you want to share your board, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, I can. Mine is not, mine's very specific. Let me see if I can screen share this.
Well, I think that the most powerful vision boards are the ones that are very specific, because it's about staying focused. It's not about filling the page with as many things as you can or as many shiny objects. It's about narrowing down those 3 to 5, big goals that you have, or 10 declarations, however many, but narrowing it down into an amount that you can achieve in the 4 quarters of the year.
Yeah. Okay. So am I on mute? No.
No,
I definitely had a lot more in this thing, and I'm looking at it now and I'm like, wow, nothing really saved. So I guess I'll just show you guys hold on, let me just make sure I didn't save it somewhere else, because I was working really hard on it and not all of it saved. That's awesome. Okay, that's okay. I'll redo it. All right. Let's see if I can screen share this with you guys. You'll see how do I get this to?
Okay, so while you get that going, let me ask a question. How many of you have not done your vision board because you can't find the time? Just raise your hand. Like, time. Okay. That's kind of like saying, I really don't have time to focus on what I want. That's pretty much what you're saying. And instead of having a clear, defined plan and being able to go after what you want, what you're doing is you're focusing on putting out fires. And there's not very much strategy going on when you're putting out fires.
It is. Yeah, it's here. I see it. I'm just sorry.
So no, you're fine. I'm going to challenge each of you. Yeah, I'll get to your question in 1 second, Natalia. I want to challenge each of you. Today's Thursday. Get your vision board, or it doesn't even have to be a board. It can be a book. I had a vision journal where I would write down what I wanted as if I already had it. I would write down like perfect days in my life. I would write down things that I wanted to happen as if they happened. I also did another vision book where instead of a board, every page had a representation and also a quantitative goal attached to it. And I looked at that book every single day. Another thing, I'll show you another trick you can do after Lindsay shares her board.
Okay. Now, can you see that or no?
I see it, yeah.
Okay. My computer is a mind of its own today and it's not wanting to cooperate. So, it's like Zoom or use PicMonkey. So anyways, okay. So there was a lot more to this, but that's okay. You guys will get a general idea. I had personal goals down. I have to rewrite them out. But I kind of looked at personal, spiritual, business, a lot of business. And then what's the other thing? I had this all out and didn't save. Hang on 1 second. It was spiritual. Oh, fun. So I worked off of a financial goal, a big scary goal, a spiritual goal, and a fun goal. And then there's a lot kind of tied in there for the year for me. So the big scary goal I would say would be pushing to 15-star, because that is going to take me leading a team who wants to, go to that level. And so that's a big, scary goal. And then a couple scarier goals were that came up about our speaking publicly. So I put those down, which I've never really put down before. I do a lot of public speaking in the local area, but I've never really done it to the network because I always run the other direction whenever they talk to me about it. So I decided I would put it out to the world this year. I would put it out to the universe to come to reality for me. I have Millionaire Club down there for financial goals. I'm trying to bump income, tripling it up. And I kind of have how I want to develop leadership. Well, I have it down. I'm very aware of and focused on what I want to do, how many people I want to have at Summit, how many people I want to have at leadership in San Diego. That means I have to help people hit 5-star by July. Who want to. Of course, I'm not going to just go drag people. And then personal goals of developing new diamonds on the team, developing new multi-stars, developing 5-stars. We want to go to Hawaii. It's been a goal, and it's sort of I have to hit certain marks to make that happen. And I saw Hawaii as a Disney resort, and we all know I love Disney. My kids love it. So right now that is on the vision. And then I use some words to just kind of help me this year because I don't know. I wanted to tie some words to everything. I'm very focused a lot of my personality, and I'm not a very carefree type of person all the time. I'm laid back, but I wanted to just be more carefree. So I decided to add that into the year. I want to use the word fierce this year, and then use the word brave, and be brave enough to, of course, connect with new people to grow the team. And then I had some things like help the church I'm going to. That was down there. And I had go to Disney World in Orlando versus driving up to Disneyland. And I had more on here. Let's see, I have over here. Pay off the rest of our pool that we purchased last year. It's almost done. We bought Hale a Jeep, so that's on the list to be paid off. And then savings and be an elite team again with elite coaches, other elite teams on our team. So those are my general financial, fun, scary, and then spiritual goals. And pray every day, get better at that. So I did this on PicMonkey and just kind of played with that. And I'm going to be continuing to finish it up.
I love that you broke it down into sections. And one other thing that I like to do when I do a digital, it's always easier, but I also do it with a physical. But if it's digital, I take a screenshot and I put that on my phone as the wallpaper. When it's this, I just take a picture. But I do that, and I put it also on the background of my computer. And then the third thing that I do that I'll show you guys is I have something called a mind movie. And it's an alternative to vision boards. If you like TV and movies, or if you just are interested, you like editing. But I'll show you guys a snippet of mine. Pull it up. I'm sorry?
I can unshare mine. Sorry.
You're good. Hi. All right, so let me see if I can pull you guys in. Okay, so, and I'm going to take off a second. So I made this on iMovie. Program already comes on the phone, but so there's little mantras on it. And this one is really money focused because $500,000 is a lot of money to generate in a year. So, anyway, so I have pictures of, this is more like the vision board of the feeling and behind it. And there's all these affirmations of who I am, how I want to feel, what my life is like, the billboards and all that stuff. So that's just a little, and I'll have you know that little thing that came up here, she's the one that picked the song. I said, what song should you put? And she goes, oh, the feeling song. And I'm like, feeling? And she goes, you know, Mom, oh, well, sometimes. And she started singing it. And I was like, you're right. That's a perfect song for it. But so as you can see, I have two different styles of trigger points, right? So the first, I have my very goal-centric, super focused, breaking it down. I've got my section on money. I've got my section on media. I've got my section on powerful connections on this side. I've got my health. And then in the center, I've got my declarations. And then I have on the top right, the breakdown of, you know, what's going to happen by the quarter. And then I have, in my opinion, the more woo-woo version of it, where it's a video, there's affirmations, there's music, it's positive, it's got all these pictures and vibes. And I usually will watch this once when I wake up and once when I go to bed, because my own personal belief is that, you know, what you put into your head on the last part of the evening is usually sort of what's percolating as you're sleeping. So Natanya had asked if I could talk about gnats and, let me see. Here it is. Oh, gnats and sassy back talk. Okay, so Natanya's pulling some content from the Confident Entrepreneur Academy, which I'm happy to share with you guys. But your gnats are the negative automatic thoughts that pop into your head. So for example, you sit down at the computer and you start to write a post, and all of a sudden that negative automatic thought of, oh, this isn't as good as, you know, Lindsay's. No one's going to like this. Or you go to invite someone and automatically you think, oh, they're going to say no. Before you've even gotten a no, you're approaching it because these negative automatic thoughts are coming into play. They're just, it's the way that we've been conditioned for so many years. I wasn't prepared to talk about this, Tanya, so you're catching me off guard. And pull up my hair too. Here's what happens, right? We all have stories. We've all been conditioned, whether it's, you know, what your parents said, what teacher, how somebody made you feel. All that just really shapes the internal dialogue. All that shapes the internal dialogue of who you're going to be. You have two mindsets. You have a fixed mindset. You have a growth mindset. Your fixed mindset is all the garbage of I'm not good enough. She's better than me. When is it going to be my turn? What do they have that I don't have? All that negative stuff, that's part of a fixed mindset. As long as you're holding on to those thoughts, it's going to be so difficult for you to break through the plateau, break through those income plateaus, break through that team level that you're trying to get to. What you want to have is the growth mindset, where you can take a statement like, why would anybody follow me? I haven't made enough money yet. And you could say, people should follow me and join my team because I am in a perfect position to grow and to really help them follow the same path that my leaders have followed. So, Natanya, give me one of your negative automatic thoughts so we can do some sassy back talk. I can't unmute people. Lindsay.
You're good. Right. Can you guys hear me after this one? It's super early. One of mine.
Yeah.
Hold on, I only have a bazillion of them. Let me think, maybe like one today. So let's see here. I'm trying to think of like when I sit down at my computer. I would say I'm not, like, I don't know how to word this. Like my value isn't, because like a lot of times we get objections on price or something because they don't see the value in our stuff. So my negative automatic thought is like, am I giving my followers enough value? Am I proving to them I'm worthy to have them follow me?
Every just about all of us, thank you for sharing, just about all of us have on some level some variation of I'm not good enough. And so for Natanya, what's coming is, I'm not giving enough value. I'm not delivering enough. Whatever I'm offering isn't enough. Excuse me. So that's the negative automatic thought. It comes up for all of us at some point. What you then do is, as soon as you hear that thought come out, as soon as that nasty feeling or comes up, because you feel it, you don't just think it. Your
I had to close my eyes and kind of get in the mood.
Your whole, physiologically, it all comes to play. Your body will cave in. And this is, sorry to sort of scroll for a second, but this is also how you know if your intuition is leading you in the right path, is you either feel expansive or you feel a contraction in your body. And so when you feel that contraction in your body, that's tied with a negative emotion and a negative feeling. Sometimes you're excited to do something, but you're scared. You ever been scared, but you still feel like, but you're scared as hell? That's expansive. And that's how you can move forward. You're psychologically ready to conquer the fear. So I just wanted to put a pin in that over there. But so I'm not good enough. The value that I have is not good enough. So as soon as those thoughts come in, you have to hit it back with a back talk. You have to think of yourself as like a kid who's trying to get their way. And like this one, you become Nina. She's the queen of back talk. And what you first look for the truth. So is it true that you're not delivering value? Because aren't you going to give them a challenge group?
Yes.
Right? Okay, that's super valuable. That's free accountability and coaching. Do you know what I charge for accountability and coaching?
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you're doing a variation of what I'm doing for free. Mm-hmm. When they pay, aren't they getting Shakeology?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that stuff free? No, it ain't. It's quite expensive. Are they getting a workout program?
Yes.
Isn't that workout program significantly less than if they invested in a gym that they never attended?
For sure.
Okay. So even if you didn't give them a challenge group, there's value in Shakeology and the workout program. Mm-hmm. Now, aren't you also going to approach a challenger and invite them to become a coach?
Yes.
Right?
More value.
Isn't that valuable? Isn't that life-changing value?
Yep.
So, do you still feel like you don't have enough to give?
No.
Okay. Now, great. Sometimes the answer is still, I don't feel it's good enough.
Yeah, you can say maybe I don't feel I'm good enough for them to come on my team or something because I'm not.
No. Don't even change the narrative. Let's stick right here. Okay. So sometimes, even after you do the rationale, right? Because Tanya, you've done this work. So we just have to,
it's hard to go backwards after you get rid of those.
Yeah. So we just have to, I can't, oh my gosh, I'm thinking in Spanish. Hold on a second. We just have to negate the thought. Okay.
Okay.
And so for you, you're used to the work. So I negate 3 thoughts and you're like, oh yes, okay, you're right, I'm good. For someone who's just getting into this practice, it's not going to be. I'm going to say, well, isn't this? And in the back of their head, tell me true. Did anybody in the back of your head say, but still, anybody, if you felt that but still that's not really enough? See, Ashley,
because what if they still say you lay out the value for them? You're getting my free coaching group, unlimited access, lifetime membership for free. Mm-hmm. You're buying, it's a one-time purchase and it's yours forever, ever. One-time purchase, yours forever, ever. Done, right? And then you explain the value of Shakeology and they still say no.
So then what you ask yourself is, what more would I want, right? And if you as the prospective consumer would want something more, then you ask yourself, oh, okay, well, I actually would like a local fit club component. I would like to work out with someone locally once a week. Okay, so then maybe you think, should I offer that? But before you say yes, and you just start throwing everything at it, You
So
have
what
to
if
ask.
what if they're not local?
Well, hold on one second. We're going to get there. Because right now, all we're doing right now, this is now here. I know what you're doing. Now you're trying to phrase like how to overcome an objection. We're not having an objection. This is the conversation that's in your head,
Yeah.
right? So let's get back in your head. Let's not get back with the last client that prospect you spoke to. So we're still back in the head. And when that thought of, man, but that's still not enough, she's not going to see the value. Okay, so what would I want? What would I want? What would I want? Maybe could do something local. Maybe I could do something virtual. Maybe I could do like a virtual workout club where once a week we work out. And then you stop and you say, but do I want to commit to that amount of work for this one person? Or do I feel like the coaching and the support and the Shakeology and everything that I'm giving is really powerful enough that I can let this person go and I can move on to the next, right? So you have a decision to make. I can tell you right now, like for me, I have a decision to make with a program that I'm going to be promoting in a couple weeks. Do I want to offer weekly coaching support calls? The honest truth is I don't want to do that. I know it's a tremendous value add, and I know that they would really benefit, and then that would help them see the value of the program. But I'd rather just find 10 or 20 other people who see the value in that program and in the value of once a month, monthly call, and be happy with that. Because my time is so valuable. So did everybody, Natalia and I have been doing this work, so we kind of worked through that quickly, but and you can play this out for anything, but what I want you to take away is that when a negative thought comes into your mind, what you're going to do is you are going to decide and validate or disprove the thought that just came into your head. Yeah, go ahead.
Just off the top of my head, just talking to my coaches, I know fear is huge, huge. Fear holds people back more than anything. I don't know what exactly they're afraid of. Like a monster's going to jump out of their computer screen or something. I don't know, but a lot of times it doesn't make sense to me because they got so much fear in their own head. They don't even know what they're really fearful of. And then that kind of dips into insecurity and not being confident, which is pretty much what your whole course is about. But those are probably the top main things I see in my coaches, that those gnats just attack them and they don't do anything. They're stuck. And then they're like, well, why don't I have A, B, and C like that person does? The comparison game comes in, and it's like, because you're not tackling your mental game.
Right. And that is not a reflection of you. And it's not your responsibility to take on their fear. The best that you can do as a leader is give them resources and say like, hey, try this exercise. Whether or not they're going to do the exercise, that's on them, right? We're talking about a lot of things here. Some of you are going to implement some of it. Some of you are going to implement all of it. Some of you are going to implement none of it. That's not on me. I'm going to go to sleep real easy tonight, right? Because I came to deliver what I know works, and then it's up to each individual to do the work for themselves. Natalia, you're doing the work. Lindsay is doing the work. Lindsay's been doing the work for more than a year now. Every single one of you that are here on this call tonight, instead of with your family or watching Real Housewives of whatever county, you're doing the work, or NFL Live and ESPN for my fellas out there. So, and here's the thing about fear as well. It's fear of success, fear of failure. It's all of that, right? That gamut. The only way that you really overcome fear is by taking action. Small incremental action steps. But what I really wanted to sort of give, because Natalia wanted me to talk about the gnats. So for you guys, it's again, identifying what that negative thought is that comes in for you. And then, oh, Nicole, you want to share some of yours? You have some of your, I don't know. Or is that the goals thing?
Oh, I was answering Lindsay's post. She said she would love to see some of our goals, and I was like, I already was working on it.
Okay, so I want to just wrap this for Natanya to make sure. So you take your negative thought, whatever that is, and then you either prove it true or you prove it false. And 9 times out of 10, the negative thought is false. And as long as you continue to prove it false, it's a work in progress. It will take time, but it will get easier. So I'm sorry that we kind of got off course on the vision. But Lindsay, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Hey, I think that was good. I think it's important to you guys to, I think as a leader, when we've gotten, I don't know how to say, like, we've worked really hard on our minds to, we're doing the work for like a year now. It's funny where I'm at today than where I was, a year or two ago, who I am today as a leader and who I was as a leader a year or two ago, and how the little things I did every day. But the one thing I did, you guys, I turned away from the National Wake Up Call like 3 times. Like, I'm like, no, I got nothing to share. I don't know what I'm doing. Go away. Don't ask me about it again. I've been asked about it 3 times. And I've ran like a chicken the other direction. And I tell you that because I was so afraid that I had nothing good to give to the network. And that everyone was going to be like, yeah, that's nothing new. I don't want to, like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, I felt like running. And I feel like in the case of actually talking to new people to join the team, I don't have that kind of fear thing going on. I'm not afraid to help push a coach to their potential. Like, I have no problem being a tough love mama to my coaches. So I think it's good that we talked about this tonight, because as you guys go into this new year, I want you to find maybe a great podcast or a great book or a great audio, whatever, that'll help you conquer whatever is stopping you and what can help you get to that next level. Because you aren't gonna just you're gonna need to take action, and some kind of, what I think they were referring to is, those type of situations can actually stop you from taking any action. And you want to just take baby steps every day of, I just want to talk to a couple new people, and I just want to put myself out there, and I'm going to be brave enough to share my story more often, and I'm going to start, I'm going to have the courage to talk to that one person I really want to talk to, but I'm afraid to talk to, and it's going to be okay if they say no to me, and like, I'm going to have the courage to help my team, do the same thing. And doing all that with the help for your mind through some sort of personal growth, you're actually going to grow into that person, which those goals will start to be achieved. I know I hope I don't know if Rachel's still around or if she's off, but if that makes sense to you, with the vision and the goals and stuff, it sticks with you every day. You show up to, like she was saying, put it on your phone, Lindsay, make sure you take a picture and put it on. Okay. I'm okay. Cool. I just want to make sure I'm like on the right path here, because you have to kind of grow into that person, and you have to want to do that in all the different areas of your life. And that's what's pretty cool about this kind of business, is we truly have to grow into that person. And who doesn't want to grow and be a better mom, wife, husband, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you guys make your boards, like, I know mine are these huge, but let me tell you, last year, Rachel could vouch, like, Superstar I was scared to death. I was fighting to try and do the 10-star thing, and it kept falling apart. It kept falling apart. It kept falling apart. And I was like, oh, and I just kind of kept growing into that person. And I've never, I guess I don't want to, if this isn't to brag, but probably like everyone is really starting to grow into leaders, and they're really starting to, they're not struggling with their rank anymore. They're starting to really move to the next level, which is so cool. I'm like, okay, we're doing something right. Like, we're growing into these leaders in this business, and we've got, people hitting Success Club and doing things that are small benchmarks that grow to what you may have on your board. So hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of a breakdown of moving your way into these goals. Because you can write 5-star diamond down on your board, and then you can be like, okay, now what do I do? Like, how do I get there? It's going to take a lot of your mind. It's all that negative, all the stuff they talked about, the fears. It's going to take fighting through that stuff, I guess that's the best word I can use for you, is just, well, that's my word, but working your way through like, oh, I really do have something good to offer. Like, I'm good to go with this and continue. In those affirmations of, I am going to earn Success Club. I am going to be a Success Club All-Star. I am going to walk that stage when I get to Nashville. I will be on that stage. And maybe it's a photo of LP Field in the stage, and you just stare at it every day, and you're like, I'm going to be on that stage. I'm going to be on that stage. I'm going to work to get on that stage. Whatever 5-star, 6-star, whatever your thoughts are, and you just slowly, gradually change. Like, I was like 10-star. Okay, now I'll go to 15. Like, you just kind of break them down per quarter. And some people go from like Emerald on up to a 10-star in 1 year. It happens. It's very possible for you. I've seen other people do it. I can see you do it. Elite, all that stuff. So those are just kind of specific to Beachbody. I know there's those goals, like 5-star ties to the idea of on the edge of a 6-figure income. So if that's something that's in your head, you just kind of tie those together and realize, okay, 5-star is kind of tying me to that 6-figure income. I'm getting there. So I hope this makes sense. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Seeing lots of awesome goals. So what we could do, what would be really fun is, I know it takes a little bit, when you guys make your boards, you can use PicMonkey, you can do what Rachel did where you use the cork board type of thing, or the video, light a candle.
Canva is good also, by the way.
Oh yeah, Canva. Pop your champagne that's not at your house yet, if you didn't get it yet, or your sparkling water, and like really sit down with your spouse. Let me add that. Sit down with your family. This will help you so much when you've got someone in the background like I have over here who's like, I want to know what the goals are. I want to know what we're working towards. Like, how much time are you going to be taking that I'm going to have to go take the boys and be doing things? Because you got, when I'm in the middle of a 15-star qualifying push or the 10-star push or whatever I'm going through in that season, he's aware, like, okay, she's pushing for a huge goal right now. I'm going to take the boys. I'm going to go and just leave her be so she can, and then I'm going to talk her through a week of, oh my God, this is going to fall apart. Like, and
I
he's
probably
there.
think of it as talk you off the ledge.
Talk me off the ledge. He brings you back to perspective. So when you do this, have your spouse get on board with you as best you can, to be like, hey, look, I can really do this. I just need you to support me. If your kids are older, connecting, like, I need to get these many points this month. I need to bring on these many new coaches. And then we go to Pizza Hut or Chuck E. Cheese, a kid thing, whatever attracts them. Jumping trampoline places. Like, my kids would be, I don't know, they're so little that at this point it doesn't matter. But
they will be your biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah, they would become like, hey, did you get your points yet? Did you bring on 2 new people yet? Like, where are you at? Because I want to go do bowling or whatever. So by connecting your family into this too, I think is so important, because it's going to give you 10 times more support. They're going to help walk you off some ledges, because there's going to be nights when you're on a ledge and you're like, it's just part of life, right? It's like being a mom, being a dad. Like, the kids are, I'm going to go off a ledge. I need to put them up for adoption or make them crazy type of thing. And then you're good, So you guys have, when you do your goal boards, PicMonkey, Canva, whatever, light a candle, drink your champagne. These can take time to do. They can take a week to make. You may start a little bit. Write down your ideas with like, this one wanted to be up here tonight because he wanted to know, like, what are your goals? What are you doing? What are you planning this year? Like, what else is on your board? So I'm aware, I want to be in the know of what's going on, and play some music that gets you in a really happy mood, or just a very calm situation. So you're not like in a tense situation trying to write out goals, and be realistic with yourself. You can set some big, scary goals. and be okay if you don't land on them. Like my 10-star stories, Rachel's walked me through 10-star all the way, the whole year, I think, when I was like, I didn't do it again. Let's try this again. Okay.
Was it that important to you?
And she was like, she coached me through it. Like every week we walked through that and what to do and where do you need to work to make these things happen. And, even why are some coaches, why don't some care? Why don't some want to build like I want to build? Why don't they want to do this? Like, I don't understand. And I know you all struggle with that. I think it's normal because we all are like, why don't they get it? Like, why don't you want to do what I want to do? Like, hello, this is so cool.
Can I jump in and say something on that though? Because I hope it's okay that I'm sharing that. I don't typically, share what happens behind closed doors with my clients, right? Because client confidentiality. But I will say that the narrative has changed so much in the last year, but that was a big conversation that Lindsay and I had almost every single week. I don't get it. Why don't they want it as bad as I want it? Why don't they want it as bad as I want it? And I will tell you that sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this conversation again. Let's just move on. Let's just get to 10-star. Let's just find new people. But, right, like that's human nature. And that was me as her coach, just wanting her to have that big leap. So what I'll tell you is twofold. Number one, you all have a variation of the same struggle. But number two, it's okay to have those same feelings over and over and over again. But the difference is how you choose to persevere while you're in the midst of feeling those things. Because Lindsay could have easily said, they don't want it as bad as I do. I'm done with those people. And she could have given up. And I will tell you very candidly, I have recommended that she give up on several people on the team because I'm over them. And she's not. She has so much love and such a big heart, and she hasn't given up on people. And so the way that you choose to move forward in your business despite your feelings is what's going to help get you to that level, and being okay with feeling those feelings of frustration, but then still doing the work, because Lindsay has done a lot of work this year. And I'm just very proud of you. But I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that there are going to be some weeks where your emotional state does not change. You're crabby, you're in a funk, you're frustrated, your people are just not getting their lives together, but you have to keep showing up, and you have to keep that vision at the forefront, which is why it's so important to have that visual representation, to have that vision board up somewhere where you're going to see it. And I will tell you one last thing, and then I'll turn it back to you. One mistake I made one year was I put the board up right here, and then I never worked in this space. I worked downstairs. I worked in the other room. I never worked around where the vision was, and I struggled miserably. It took me like 6 months to realize, like, oh, duh, you're not looking at your vision board. It's not at the forefront. So that is why it's important to have it somewhere where you're going to see it on your laptop, on your phone, and that you're showing up every single day to realize the vision that you set for yourself. So back to you, Lindsay.
I'm just kind of reading through your goals. So maybe it'd be even more fun to, when you make the boards, like we can share them with each other and the team or whatever. And just kind of, she's right. Put them, like, mine has always been right over here. And it's always been, I have a goal notebook. It's just a notebook for the goals. I just write them every week, and I kind of see what gets checked off. And I swear to you, I've made these boards since, I don't even know, day one in the past years. And I go through them, and it's crazy. I had move out west, buy a house, like all these things. I'm just like, check, 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 check. They're all happening. And I can't give you the exact pathway other than I just show up every day. The days that I just don't want to show up, I'm like, okay, what do I need to put in my ears? So I'll show up and do what I need to do. I show up just like people show up to their office, their boss, whatever. Same concept. I'm like, if I show up to this every day, if I just add to new people every day, get out there and breathe some life into new people, they're going to come back. Our team's going to grow, and all these like goal things like buying this house is going to happen. And things like he wrote down retire Hal. Like he's like, I want to just be free to do what I want. Going through and trying to figure out vacations is not fun for him because he's like, well, I don't want to take that many days because I only have this many days. And that's like the biggest argument, to not have that freedom, if you will. And this gives you that kind of a freedom, to be able to consistently take these boys to Disney, and Disney is not cheap, and be able to just cash pay for it all, and just, do whatever to celebrate their birthday. And we've done that every year since we've lived close to here. We've just keep going up there, and we could go Florida. I don't feel like going on a 5-hour flight yet with the little guys, but like, I don't know about all that, but we'll get there. It's on the goal board, and the Hawaii idea with the Disney is on the goal board too, because it's 2 in 1. I've always wanted to get out there and visit Hawaii, and it's tied to a Disney resort, which means big family vacation. And I have a friend here who is a coach on a different team, and we are very similar, which is really helpful when you find like a partner like that, because you guys are so connected, and we kind of go over goals together, and we're different teams, so it works really well for us, but we're sort of on the same level. So anyways, I will tell you this, after everything, after all the heartache and there's tears that shed, and there's coaches that'll quit on you that you're like, I gave you all this time. Hello. Like, what are you doing? Lots of that may happen, or probably will happen, because some people just aren't going to, they're just aren't going to catch the vision. But everything's been worth it because it's paid off. It's fulfilling. It's not just money, but it's like very fulfilling to me to help people and see people. And I can't wait to sit in Nashville and like see others walk the stage this year that are on our team, and just celebrate and bring on more, top premier elite coaches this year. So I hope this is fun for you. It was, and I hope it helped you kind of break through some challenges that you may face with your vision for your life, for your personal goals, for your financial goals, for your family goals, your fun goals, your all, it's not all Beachbody. I don't want you to think like 5-star and do this. I want you to understand that Beachbody will give you a really great life if you allow it. If you really work at this, it's going to give you money, and money isn't everything, but it sure does make your life a lot easier, and it allows you to help many more people out there. So,
so what's that song? Money can't buy happiness, but it'll buy you a boat. I'm special.
He is special. So, all right. So, this was fun. I hope this was fun for you guys. We recorded it. And I meant to say I even had a retreat on that board, but it never made it on there. So I have to redo my board. But I'm excited for this year. So I hope you guys got some great ideas. For me, I have a very clear vision. I don't think I had a clear vision about a year and a half ago, but I have a very clear vision now. Like, I know where I'm going. I know what the goal is. I know what's important. I know what I need to do, type of stuff. And if you guys just want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it and kind of help guide you figuring these pieces out. But once you get in that groove, it gets easier and easier.
We're here to support you. You've got a lot of people here. You see all these people on this call.
Hal needs a boat.
Hal does need a boat.
Yeah, you can make a photo album in the team. That's a good idea. Then we can just look at them, and then we can hold you guys. We can all hold each other accountable to our goals and our, I think that's a great idea.
Chef Hat, you need to respond to me when I tell you about your goals.
She's not listening to you. She has no idea you're talking to her.
Not at all.
All right. So take these, write them down, and then make some really cool boards for you to look at. Put them on your phone, put them in front of you, talk to your family about them, talk to your kids, talk to your husband, talk to your wife, so they know what you're doing when your head's planted in the computer for hours and hours of talking to people. And when you talk to 50 and they all said no, and you're like, seriously, I got to keep going. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great night. packages are on the way. Sorry about that.
You should show them what's coming in their package.
Okay, well, there's wine. Wait.
That's champagne.
Champagne. I don't know if I have what's coming in their package. There's pajamas. You're each getting a new yellow obnoxious bracelet to wear for your next goal. A personal development book. Chocolate. And you each, if you're a girl, you got a necklace. Is that it?
I think so.
Oh, and shower gel. Sparkly, glittery shower gel. I think
For
that's
you,
it.
Dennis. For you, Dennis.
Dennis got like Patriot PJs or something.
I don't know about that.
Awesome. I love your goals, you guys. This is so cool. All right. I don't want to keep you any longer. I don't want to hold you up. I hope you've had a fun time with us. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. And this is recorded, so you can rewatch it if you need to get any more ideas or thoughts or whatever. And we are here if you need us. So have an awesome night, guys. Thank you, Rachel, so much for doing this for us. That was really nice of you. Really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.